Ellis here, this is my animated life and I'm ready to show you something completely different in this video. I've been trialling it, it isn't 100%, there was a few issues with it, the time-lapse didn't work at one point, but I want to show you how to do stop motion. I want this channel to not just be about myself, but about your development as stop motion animators. I want to give you the knowledge that I have learned over my years and pass them on to you. This is something that should be a great turning point in my channel. I've just moved into the studio. It's still got loads of stuff to be done. As you can see behind me, it's not ready yet. But once it is, this trial that I'm working on will hopefully really help you guys. And I'd really like your feedback on it. So sit back, watch, see what you think of it. And I'll see you in the next video. Right, we're going to try something different today. This is a day that I start doing a few more videos regarding stop motion tutorials. The first one being how to create a stop motion head. Now there are hundreds of different ways of doing it. I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to be creating my mini me character for my animated life. So without further ado, let's get ourselves set up. Cup, check. Super Sculpey, check. Sculpting tools, check. Right, before we do anything, we need to manipulate it. That means just kneading it in your hands, alright? What I tend to do is make up little mini balls. Roll them up into little mini balls. I'm going to put it into the cup. This is so you've got nice kneaded up bits of Sculpey to work from. Now I'm working in Super Sculpey. There are a few different ones. There's a soft Super Sculpey, there's a firm one. I'm using the firm one, and that's purely because I prefer it firm. People like it differently. Some people like very soft manual clay. I prefer firm. It keeps it where it needs to be, and I'm very hands-on, and I'm quite a warm person, so it can get very warm, and I prefer it being firm. So all I'm doing at the moment is I'm just rolling up bits of balls, and these balls are going to then be used to make the character itself. We need to have a starting point, and I just like to make balls up, and then I can add little bits and balls to the model to make it bigger. Just rolling them up. I'm manipulating them, making them a bit warmer so they're a bit softer, easier to work with, and then when I do need to use it, I've just got nice small pieces of Sculpey to work from rather than a big block. And when you get the big blocks, when you've just bought them, they're really hard and tough to work with. If you get them in bite-sized little balls, eyeball sizes, it's a bit easier to manipulate and to work with, and that's what I do. Okay, that should do me. Now before we start anything, we need to have a picture or a drawing or reference photo to what we're working towards. I'm going to go and get mine right now. Give me a sec. Okay, reference photo. So this is a caricature of myself. It's not bob on. I don't know if you can see it there. Can you see it on that one there maybe? This is a caricature version of me. I'm making a mini me for the series. You've got to start with something. This is what I've got. It's a mini me. Anyway. We keep the reference, it's warm in here. Yes, right, we keep the reference photo nearby so that we can relate back to it. Come back to the cup in a minute. What we're going to do now is we are going to get a bigger piece of sculpting. We're just going to manipulate it and we're going to work on the head. Now, the thing about Super Sculpey is you put it in the oven basically and it goes nice and hard. And now you can put it in the oven more than once. You can put it in as many times as you want, bearing in mind you don't over bake it the time that it's meant to be baked. The reason you can do this is you can manipulate a shape that you're after and then that shape won't change, and then you can add more afterwards, knowing that the initial shape that you've made won't change. And it's a good way of building up your character or your model. I'm going to start doing that by just doing the main outline of the head, or the straight bits of my head, and then I'll build it out from that. The other thing is as well, once Sculpey is dried and is set, you can sand it down, you can paint it, you can drill into it, you can do all sorts of things with it. But what I will be doing is I'll be, once I've made the character's head, because this isn't very conventional. Quite a lot of people will say you're doing it wrong, because if you're going to add bits on, those bits that are getting added on aren't the complete piece. And I get what they're saying, because if I just stick an ear on, then that ear has got the tendency to fall off because that's been manipulated out from the main piece that I'm building. Very true. If you were making a plasticine model, like Morph for instance, you would definitely want to manipulate the whole thing out. The reason why is I'm making this to eventually make a mould of it so I can turn it into a plastic resin head, which that plastic resin head will be a complete mould. I hope that makes sense. I'm doing it very unconventionally to if you were making it in plasticine model form. If you were making Morph, don't copy what I'm doing now, because you'll have issues. If you try and move the ear, it'll snap off. This is purely to build up a character's head that you can then make a mould of, turn into a resin head, if that makes sense. Right, I'm happy with this as a starting block, and that's all it needs to be, is a starting block to work from, and then you manipulate and add bits from this. This is it. This is going to go into the oven now and get baked, and then I can work on this. There we go, all dried out and ready for the next stage, which is just to layer up. And this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to keep layering up this model until it's completely made, and we just build it. We just keep adding those little round balls. What it means is everything that we've manipulated on the top part of this head won't move now, so we're not squashing it, we're not keep adding fingerprints to it. It just makes it so much easier to build it up. Absolutely the most essential thing to do. It makes life so much easier. You can work on a tiny area then, get the detail perfect, bake it, come back to it, come back to another section. It's so simple. If you haven't picked up on anything from this this tutorial, just use that. Next phase complete. We've added the chin. He's going to go into bake again. Let's continue. I'm thinking just one extra little blob either side just to bring out the cheeks just a little bit more, and then I think we're there. So let me know what you guys think of this. It's something new that I'm adding to the channel. It's something that I want to do a bit more of. I'd love to try and potentially do this live as a YouTube stream. So please let me know if you think it might be useful. If I was to do it live, it'd be quite interesting, and I think people would actually be able to join along and do their own model at the same time, or their own character at the same time, and then we can all kind of post the pictures up of the characters that they've created, or that you would have created, to the website, or to my website, or even on Instagram. Okay, I think I will bake this before I go onto the nose or the ears. I think it's just going to be better. What do you think? Well, I've started to create the mini-me character of myself, which will be used in my animated life episodes. This is the start of it. Hopefully I'll finish it off in the next couple of days. I hope you're enjoying this setup that I've created here. It's something new and different that I'm trying. I want to reach out to you. I also want to show you how I'm making these animations from start to finish. This has got a long way to go yet. We've got the ears to go, the nose, etc. We've got to make it available to connect to the armature. It's then got to be cast in silicone so that we can then make a fast cast resin version of this head. So there's lots to go through. We're right at the very beginning of it. I hope you've enjoyed what I've done with it. If you do like it, then please make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification icon, then you won't miss any more of these videos, and when I eventually do a live version of it via YouTube, you'll know all about it. So my name's Ellis, this is my animated life, this is my mini-me. I'll see you real soon.